Welcome to part 3 of my video on this Canadian Philco 64. I'm about to do some bakelite restoring here. I'm going to be using some water, some warm soapy water, and it's clean water. And what I'll be doing is I'll be going through the cracks on this radio with a toothbrush and cleaning everything up really nice and letting it dry, so that when I put my JB weld in between the cracks, everything will be clean and it'll adhere good to the bakelite. Anyways, I'll just pause this and get set up here and get ready to go to work. I don't know what happened with the radio. It must have fell off something, I guess. The only way to explain all the damage that's on the top of this radio. It's like it either fell on it, it just smashed the top part, or who knows what else. Anyways, got it for free anyway, so I wasn't complaining too much. Oh, crap. I didn't want to do that. Oh well, makes it easier to clean. Once I put the JB weld in with screen on the inside, put more JB weld, let it dry, you'll never even know this thing even broke off. Just got to be careful and not hurry. I don't know, I don't think I'm hurrying, I'm just, this is usually the way I work. You can see the decal on the underneath side tells you the tube complement in this radio, and I wanted to save this decal. I didn't want to leave it soak in the water too long on the bottom side here and have that come off on me. I want to keep that original. Alright, so now I'll use nice clean water to rinse all the soap off. Probably easier that I broke that piece off anyway. Okay, I've done a couple of repairs already to this radio. There's a big chunk here on the top. This section here was completely broke out. I had busted actually when I was prepping it. So that, I used all JB weld in here. And I mean, I'm going to sand all this and fill some more in. Everything's going to turn out fine. This corner all the way up here with JB weld. And there's two different kinds. You can use JB weld, which takes longer to set up, which is what I use, so you can make sure the parts line up properly. And there's JB quick, which just by the words quick, you have to be quick because it sets up within 4 minutes. This stuff sets up within 4 hours. So equal parts of this epoxy, which has actually metal filings in it, and it's hard, very hard. anyways, we'll continue with the repair of this crack. And this is a big one, and this is going to be kind of tricky because this bottom piece is also broke. So I was wondering which one I should do first. I think what I'll do is I'll do the bottom one first. That way I got something to clamp to with this long clamp that I will use right here. I use this long clamp to clamp this top down to the bottom. But I'll fix the bottom one first so that it has something to hold against when the clamp is put on it. Welcome back. Well, I finished putting JB weld on all the cracks, and right now I'm in the process of using my Dremel just to smooth out the rough parts. And then once I get down to the nitty-gritty, I'll be using sandpaper. I gotta fill this hole here with Bondo. But right now I'm just going through the bigger, thicker stuff here with the Dremel. I'll be shaving all this down. Shaving all the rough stuff off. All this. Getting it closer to the bakelite, and then when it gets a little thinner there, I'll be using probably 400 grit, 600 grit sandpaper just to smooth the edges and touch up with Bondo where I need to. Always wear safety glasses when you're doing this kind of thing. I use very slow speed, except when I get on the thicker stuff. So this Dremel tip here is just a piece of thin sandpaper. You can buy these separately. It's just a little roll. You loosen the screw in the top, and the roll just slides over top of this rubber, and just tighten the screw back up, and it tightens the roll nice and tight against the rubber. Anyways, I used the widest one I got. I don't want to get down where I'm actually sanding the bakelite. I just want to take this rough JB weld off. Anyways, you get the idea. Okay, this is about an hour and a half later. What I did is I sanded all the cracks, all the high spots. I run my finger across. If I feel a high spot, I use 400 grit sandpaper to smooth it. So everything's roughly as smooth as I can get it. Now any little imperfection here, as you can see where the dust settles in the grooves, like in there. Now I'll be putting a thin, very thin coat of Bondo to fill those in, and then sand it once again. See all those little imperfections? Right where the dust is in those little pockets. That'll all be filled in with Bondo, very thin coating of Bondo. It's turning out pretty good. Of course, Bondo's going to go in this hole right here. And this top has a chunk missing right there. What I'll do is I'll put duct tape underneath because it's fairly rigid, and we'll fill this hole in. And as it gets a little harder, I'll take this the dial glass here, and I'll put it in
and then actually push it to conform with the roundness of the scale. And if I have to trim anything, I can just use an X-Acto knife. This crack, surface cracks, will all be filled with Bondo. This big chunk, same thing, will be putting duct tape underneath. So it'll give it a base for the Bondo to adhere to. Surface crack, again, we have rough places here, just little imperfections. That'll be light coat of Bondo on that. I sanded the whole radio with 150 grit sandpaper just so the primer will stick to it. All the ribs, everything, just to take the shine off it. Again, there's surface crack there, and a surface crack there in the corner. That'll all be covered with Bondo, and then sanded again. Of course, a couple little chunks missing here, but anyways, it should turn out fairly well. So next clip I'll be showing you how to apply the Bondo.